Spaghetti carbonara is a very popular dish in the central part of Italy. It has a reputation of being one of the most traditional of the Italian cuisine. Yet, its history is very interesting because it was categorized as part of a Roman traditional dish. This dish also played a big role in World War II, as citizens would hand it out to soldiers. This is when both cultures came together, when the Italians would bring the recipe and the Americans brought the ingredients for them. The direct ingredients were egg, bacon, curry, and garlic. Then, in 1955, an Italian cookbook written by Felix Jesse incorporated additional components such as pepper and parmesan. This version highlights what we know of today as traditional spaghetti carbonara, and other elements like pecorino and pork cheek have been added to the recipe. Spaghetti carbonara rose to popularity when a young chef from Bologna, Renato Gulani, was hired to cook for the American troops, who were staying in Rome. He said the Americans had fantastic bacon, delicious milk cream, cheese, and egg red powder, all of which he put together to serve this delicious pasta.
My great-grandmother, Italia, was a teenager when she lived in Antigua, Pennsylvania. Her father, Augustino, and her brothers, America and Belgium, were coal miners. One of the meals she often made them was spaghetti carbonara. She learned the recipe from her mother, who lived the majority of her life in Naples, Italy. My great-grandmother passed down recipes to my grandfather, who passed it down to my father. Along with the recipe, I was handed down stories of my relatives living and working in the coal mining town in western Pennsylvania. My great-grandmother lived until she was 99 and loved to tell me stories of her childhood and her family. Italia and her mother's cooking was so good that Augustino eventually opened a restaurant funded and owned by the coal mining company. They ended up feeding all the coal miners, and the spaghetti carbonara was always one of the most popular dishes on the menu. My great-grandmother said the popularity of the carbonara was because it was inexpensive and filling for the hard workers leaving the coal mines. During World War II, this dish brought two cultures together. When the U.S. soldiers liberated Italian cities, the citizens were grateful. The Italians had the recipe for this dish, while the U.S. soldiers had the ingredients. The soldiers gave their rations of eggs and bacon to the citizens, who made them the dish known as carbonara.
First, you are going to whisk the eggs until a solid yellow consistency. Second, pour in the grated pecorino romano cheese and crushed pepper. Mix until well combined. Next, cook the pancetta until crispy golden brown. Fourth, bring the water to a hard boil, adding salt and oil to season the water. Cook pasta until al dente. When ready and evenly cooked, drain the pasta water and put back in the pot. Now get ready to mix the egg mixture slowly into the warm pasta. Stir consistently to ensure not to scramble the eggs. It helps to let the pasta cool for 2 through 4 minutes to ensure the eggs do not cook with the hot pasta. Finally, add the cooked pancetta, stirring until evenly combined, and enjoy.
Along with bringing coal miners together, spaghetti carbonara has brought families together for decades. Roland Barthes looks at food from numerous different perspectives, one of them being as a system of communication. He also talks about the ways that various foods pick up social meanings. Carbonara can be seen through a ritualistic lens, picking up meaning through memory, exchange, and mostly togetherness. It is said that food can permeate everyday life. In Italian culture, it is very typical for families to eat together at least once a week, this meal usually being a large pasta dish like carbonara. Because of the complexity of the dish, it is not meant to be enjoyed alone, but rather with others, friends, family, and good company. It also represents cultural heritage, as the recipe with deep roots has been transmitted from generation to generation, providing a sense of identity and continuity. Additionally, it has made its way onto menus in many restaurants all over the world, displaying a respect for cultural diversity as well as human creativity. Carbonara will continue to be ritualized as a meal intended for togetherness for generations to come.